Tom, thanks so much. Here comes California Governor Jerry Brown in Oakland.
To no one's surprise, I think we have a victory here, and I want to thank the people of California for giving me a fourth chance to serve them in the governorship. At least the primary, the win, kind of the Democratic nomination, but it's the top two winner for now. So I'm going to campaign hard. I take nothing for granted. And I just have to say that California has come a long way in the last few years. We've closed a massive budget deficit. We have good relations between the two parties working on significant issues. And we have a rainy day fund that will be on the ballot. And it's very important that rainy day fund be approved by the people on the November ballot. So as far as I can see, summing it all up, Californians appreciate living within our means, managing the people's money, creating a rainy day fund, and just bringing a very common sense, get it done kind of approach. And at this point, 40 years from the time I won my first primary for governor in California, I'm ready to tackle problems, not on a partisan basis, but on the long-term basis of building California and making sure we're ready for the future. I'll be glad to take any questions.
Governor, you look like you got about 56, 57% of the vote. What's your reaction tonight? How are you feeling overall, emotionally?
Well, you know, someone once told me that you win elections the year before. And what's won this election tonight is curing a $27 billion deficit, keeping my promise not to raise taxes unless the people themselves voted for it, and bringing government closer to the people. We're doing that with the realignment of our prison system. We're doing that with our school system by putting more authority into the hands of teachers, more authority at the local school level, and not trying to aggregate all the power up here in Sacramento, because that just doesn't work.
Do you have a sense of nostalgia tonight, being in the mansion that your family lived in for so many years? Well,
I do have some nostalgia. I also think we need a little bit of cleaning, and I think the electrical wires need repair. I think some of the well, I won't go into all the details, but it isn't quite like we left it in 1966, but it's in pretty good shape. And I think it serves as a good venue for me to meet with my cabinet, talk to the agency secretaries, and planning what are we going to do for the next 4.5 years if the November election mirrors this primary, as I hope it will.
So speaking of that, Governor, you haven't put out much of an agenda for your second term yet. You focused on your budget for this year and your water and high-speed rail. Can you tell us tonight what you are going to run on, what your platform is?
Well, I would say, you know, we don't have a budget yet this year. There's billions of dollars floating around over at the Capitol, and we're going to have to, you know, rein that all in. I'll work closely with the legislature, but you know, it's not just proposing more ideas. We have a lot of ideas. Now we got to make them work. We have problems about water and the drought. We have issues of public safety and the courts telling us we have to reduce our prison population. We have a lot of low-income families that need health care and also need special help when it comes to schooling. So all that is already embodied in the law, but I want to go up and down the state making sure we can operationalize it. And that's why I've been already to 10 counties talking with supervisors and teachers and superintendents and police chiefs. And I intend to do more of that during this campaign.
Early return show Neil Kaskari leading the race so far is coming in second. How do you feel about facing him in the fall?
Well, I think the other party, although it's slipping, still has an opportunity to present an alternative candidate. And then I think the people will have a choice, and I think that's good.
Are you going to debate your opponent, your Republican opponent?
We'll do what is ever is needed. In the coming days, we can decide all those questions.
You said that recently that you don't support full legalization of marijuana. You also haven't said that you are totally opposed to fracking. In your time here as governor, have you become more moderate? Is that how you describe yourself as?
Well, first of all, on the first question, I issued not a policy statement, but what I would call a wry comment. With respect to the second, I said we ought to let science provide the information, and I think that's pretty down the middle and pretty intelligent. But if you're asking me, does the world look a little different at 76 than it does at 36? The answer is yes. It looks quite a bit different. but I'm really glad I'm standing here talking to you about it.
Governor Jerry Brown in Sacramento at the governor's mansion. Earlier I said that he was in Oakland. He voted earlier today in Oakland before returning to the governor's mansion. The 76-year-old Brown, a Democrat seeking his 4th term, and it would appear at this point as though he will be one of the 2 candidates going to the general election in November, the other being Neil Kashkari.